All right, hello. So this morning I got up and started thinking and started playing around with a deck of cards uh, and how that could be used, how a deck of cards could be used to translate into um, like your online games like Hearthstone or that's the one that I play. So that's what it keeps up. But where you've got different cards that have different effects, and even in real world, I guess the card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. But anyway, I was thinking about how a standard deck of cards could be translated to play a similar game, and maybe there's information online that I could Google and just get my answer like that. But instead, I just started trying to think it out, and so I started breaking down the different categories. And I started categorizing a deck of cards, how that would how it could be how it could work in relation to, so say in Hearthstone, for example, you've got your different classes of cards, and then you've got your different attack strengths and hit health strengths, and then the cost of the cards, and then the effects that the cards do. So with that many variables in there, how could I look at a deck of cards and put each of those cards into those variables? So I started thinking about it by basically starting to bucket it out. So to start out with, you've got black and red. So that was my first major separation. And then I thought of the suits afterwards. And so there, in that standard deck, there's 4 different suits. So that's another categorization. And then thought of the number values for each, which at first I was thinking could be the cost, but there's so many of them there that it was kind of hard. So I kind of brought that down to the granularity of, and that's how I was making the rest of my categories. So I considered each number value or each card value a sequence number. So sequence 1 through sequence 13, and then started batching them together. So my first batch, I think I did every 3, but I did every 3 by adding in the 2 jokers that are typically in a deck too, so I could get 15, and then I could batch those out. So then I had groups of 3, so that's 5 groups there, and then I said, well, if I do it in groups of 5, then that's another batch. So then I did it in that, and then ended up by going through different patterns, number patterns, creating eventually, I think I came up with 9 different groups, or indicators. So 9 different indicators under that last grouping of the card values, the sequence numbers. So all in all, it ended up looking like this. Right there. And so you see sequence 1 through sequence 15 is up at the very top. And then you've got your 2 indicators, or indicator 1 and indicator 2. That's your black and your red. And then, I'm sorry, this is how I separated this out when I drew this on the whiteboard in different colors. So each color is its own thing. It's kind of hard to tell on the screen, at least the view I have of it. The indicator 1 and indicator 2 up there, the 2 larger ones, are actually, those are red, and then all of the color beneath that is not blue is orange. So those are 2 different colors. But anyway, so all of the sequences, that's the granularity of the data. It goes all the way down to each card. Sequence 14 and sequence 15 are actually jokers, and it didn't matter as far as value went. I was just kind of assigning them. But I suppose, now that I think of it, as I'm looking at this, it does kind of matter. if you can't tell the difference between each joker. So you just have to account for that in whatever game and use you're doing. I was thinking about that a little bit ago actually, and maybe making them ghost cards or something. I don't know. That could be intertwined into the gameplay. And then so indicators 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those in the green in the middle there. Those represent the suits. And then so all the numbers beneath there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going down on the right hand side. Those are the grouping indicators. And so yeah, I grouped it by every 3, and then every then I broke it down by evens and odds, and then I broke it down by every 5, and then I broke it down. What did I do there? Oh, okay, so that top one's evens, odds, yeah, and then I did the every 5 on mine. So yeah, that is that. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of putting together a list of tasks to do with this as kind of a building block, a kind of learning tool for anybody. And that's basically the first step in this one is I'm going to go ahead and put this together into, put these tables, put this information represented as tables into Excel. So I will go ahead and do that now. We'll get rid of that. Alright, so we know what a deck of cards is. Anyway, so there's 52 cards there. So I need the sequences. Sequence numbers were the first thing, right? So sequence. And that was sequence 1 through 15. So let's see, we'll give it ID and description. And then we'll say 1. All series, and we'll say for the description, I think in my data there, or my outline model, I put SEQ. So SEQ, and there you go. And then that, and then we'll copy that down. Yeah. We'll just keep there and make it look pretty, I guess. What's happening? Alright, so we got our sequence number, and then let's do our indicator 1, right? Or actually, so yeah, so when I said, so indicator 1 and indicator 2, but actually that's like that top level, so we really need to do, maybe indicator was the wrong word. Category, we'll say category. Category. We'll do ID, and then we'll do ones do we have there? So how many categories do we have? We got the let's just go through them here. Red or black, suits, and then evens, odd, well, actually no, because I'm in a level that I didn't really label there, so we'll change that. We'll change this to indicator, just like it is, and we'll add this one after the fact. We'll figure that out. And each one's going to have a different one, and there are 9 plus. Just do that for now. Alright, so indicator 1 is red, black, club, spade, diamond, heart, other than how we're going to name this 1 to 3. S sequence. No, we'll call this. We'll call it low tier sequence. Mid tier sequence. No, that doesn't work. What's the best way to describe that? So I'm trying to think of the 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and then so forth. Those buckets. Alright, let's not get caught up on that right now. So even, odd, and then I've just got those buckets. No, we'll just do it that way for now. Do 1. Oops. 13. Alright. This needs to keep going down. Alright, so even, odd, oh yeah, and then the 5 one, so let's see. I suppose I could have just done what I did before. so 16. So let's just go back and see. So 1, 2, 3. That seems right. 1, 2. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus 9 is 15. What did I say? Is that 15? No, it's 16. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Red, black. 1, 3, 4, 6. These are the evens. Oh, because I didn't separate these out that way. I started pulling, when I wrote this out, I wanted to see the sequence numbers, where they stood in all of the other ones, so that's why, because I only have 1, but this actually represents 3. Alright, that makes sense. Alright. Oh, you know what? This is even odds, actually. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was about to think that the even odd was going back to that category. Which that category table that we didn't make yet. Right. So let's look at those categories now, though. So we want color, suit, math, and then divisible by 3. I don't know why I'm making these so confusing to understand. Remainder by 2. It's even or odd. I just don't want to use even or odd in there. And that category name. I feel like when you put names too similar together, it gets confusing for people down the line. So I don't know if what I'm putting out there for names now is much less confusing, but I'm thinking too much about it, I think. Alright, and then divisible by 5. Alright, so let's make that table. Alright, let's rename these tables. Category. Oops. Let's not name that one category, let's name that one indicator. There. Alright, so we got a category, our indicator, and our sequence number. Is that going in order of granularity? Yeah. Or does it make more sense to do this? Cool. Let's just save that. Great. Alright, I think that's going to do it for, I'm just going to stop here. That's a good stopping point, and I can take a break and eat something, and then at some point I'll record the next part, and which will be putting that data together in Excel, generating a data set with all the sequence numbers and the appropriate tables. So yeah, until then,